I had our discussion with myself yesterday evening about the title of this presentation. And due to the fact that the rapid disruptive technology shift that we're facing or already are experiencing, I think lighthouses are the most exemplary objects in the world that might represent the functionality that a bank has in consumer lives. They are the light beacons for boats, so the boats might then be the consumers. I'm also thrilled to be here, and it's really funny that you said it all needs to be digital. That man that lost his, what was it, credit card, debit card? That problem, I don't have that anymore since a couple of months because I'm wearing a wearable, a ring, and a bracelet. It has some limitation because of the fact that it has a day limit of 50 euros, so that's why I have two. But we're in a pilot, so we're experimenting with 500 customers with ABN AMRO on how these new technologies could be used for our consumers. So I don't wear a wallet anymore, and I can tell you it's pretty convenient. I now only have my cell phone and these wearables. So I will shortly introduce myself. I'm a digital strategy manager at the corporate branding department, responsible for all the digital channels that we have for our corporate branding and communications. If you have any questions, don't email me because I'm out of office. You can either tweet me or send me a Snapchat. My username is GVDVen. So if you have any questions, I will answer them over there. Does anyone recognize this image? Someone? Yes, it is. This was exactly my face 5 years ago when I started at ABN AMRO. Because due to the rapid development of technology, of digitization, we are facing, as a financial industry, we're looking towards a tsunami. Last week, I also said we might even be in the middle of the eye of a hurricane because it's silent, and silence before a storm is never good. But if you're in the eye of the hurricane, it's also silent. So yeah, where we're at. But the thing is, what this image represents is we're at that stage that we need to make a choice, a strategic choice. Do we want to fight against the tsunami? Do we want to flee? Or are we going to die? Those are the three basic human life options you have facing a tsunami, but that's also the choices we have as banks or as financial institutions. Are we going to fight? Who's willing to fight? Oh, not many enthusiastic people. Are you going to flee then? Or are you dying? Okay. Because if you're dying, then we're on the forenight of a Kodak moment. Because Kodak was on his top of growth in the years of 1997, and they didn't innovate. They had a really, really good product. It worked, but they didn't look around on what was happening around them. For the same fact, they could have been the ones who invented Instagram, now one of the most popular social media networks in the world. But that's the thing with change, right? It's really hard if you're working in a company and see developments and things around you to really grasp and get a hold on what you need to do to innovate or to change the course and the strategy of your company. And Darwin has something very clever said about that. And it sounds like a really revolutionary theory nowadays. So what I want to talk to you today is the only word I've heard in the last 5 years at ABN AMRO is what is the return on investment in everything I did. Digital, on social media, everybody asks me, okay, what's the business case, Jeroen? How are we going to earn money with that? Or are we going to save costs with that? I know, that's important, but that's not the most important part of investing in innovation. Because you can calculate what the risks are of financial and profitability loss if you don't do nothing and just sit on your ass. So that's the thing that I would like to discuss today is everybody aware enough of the fact that if you do nothing or don't react or act quickly, what the risks are? And I know it's difficult because we're facing within large corporations as banks. This is the culture, this is the hierarchy that we're facing, right? We have a chief ID killer on top, and the manager for new innovations and growth is still vacant. So, who thinks that they're really investing in innovation? Can I have a hand for people who are working in insurance or in finance or in banks who are really, really innovating and clearing? Ever. I knew you would raise your hand. Yeah, we discussed it last Wednesday, yeah. But that's a few. Are you all working in the financial industry actually? Because yeah, but I just saw 5 hands. So that's worrying me a little bit. Because that's the biggest problem. If you look at companies as Google, Amazon, Alibaba, what they're doing with their profit and the amount of money they're reinvesting in innovation problem or in experiment projects and programs, that's not comparable but what we are doing. So we're talking about millions. These companies talk about billions. And I know P&L wise, it's peaches and apples, but the fact that they're doing the radical innovation and they do it on a very, very, very quick pace, that's troubling me a little bit. And also the fact that we try to reinvent ourselves. So the traditional banks with traditional business models are trying to reinvent themselves. But that's not the thing. Reinventing yourself is doing something what you used to do in a new way. But that's not the way that the big techs are doing it. They're doing it in a new way, but without the way that they might or had done it in the years before. So there's a really good, if you're Dutch, there was a really good article this morning, actually in the Financial Dagblad, which is exactly about this topic. So we're facing a very, very demanding and on-demand customer. And how can we serve that in this butler economy? So we are still, with regards to, for example, service channels, are always there for our customers, right? That's all what we said, customer-centric. But we are still there for them on the moments that we are available for them, not when they are available. You get what I mean? So if they want to make an appointment, it's our agenda they need to fit into, not we that fit in their agenda. So for example, if you want to have, let's say a mortgage appointment, for example, it's always busy. You cannot talk to anyone within a few weeks. So how are we really innovating that way that we do something customer-centric and really for our customer? The other problem that we're facing, besides all these technology developments, is that the face-to-face or the distance between us as a bank and a customer is increasing every day. And we don't do that because we think it's funny. We don't close branches because we think it's funny, but just because it's not profitable in any way anymore. So how can we, with a digital service strategy, close that gap between the development of not customers coming into branches anymore, and a really, really, really overwhelming good, fantastic service model on your digital channels. A few years back, 2 years ago actually, I had a meeting with two members of the executive board at ABN AMRO, and I came up with the idea to launch WhatsApp as a customer service. They thought it was an amazing idea. They said, Jeroen, just go ahead. Just say what you need and we will fix it for you. I started. I had a confirming email from those two gentlemen, and they said, well, what it just said, it just go ahead and you're good to go. How many internal departments do you think I met during that time, launching WhatsApp? Oh, it's already there. Oh, it was, that was there, okay. 14. Sorry, that was a joke, actually. But 14. Can you imagine talking to people from 14 different departments to launch WhatsApp as a service channel? I didn't even know these departments, that they existed. So although the focus and everybody within the organization was shouting out, yeah, we're innovating and we're going ahead and face all these new technologies, but trying to get them implemented was really hard. It took me 9 months of my life to get it up and running. 9 months. If I go to a store within an hour, I buy a phone, I have WhatsApp up and running within 1.5 hours. So why does it takes 9 months for an organization like ABN AMRO, with a lot of people working at ABN AMRO, to get this sorted? One of the other things is what I find really amazing and also a little bit typical. I all hear these buzzwords and bullshit bingo words like transformation and digital disruption, but actually what we're facing are just the basic life choices that I just gave you, the 3 ones. So for example, if you look at all the technology developments like blockchain, artificial intelligence, robotization of processes within the banks, I think that these are all developments which are not in the nearby future. If you look what companies like Google and Amazon are doing right now, they're heavily investing in voice technology. So why is there any company here where I can do voice payments already in this room? Sorry? Is it not legally possible? In Europe, not? Really? Why not? Yeah, yeah. It's a European regulation. Yeah, and that's strange because customers are experiencing voice services with other companies. Last month, OCBC, a bank in Singapore, launched their first Google Assistant within the home for Google Home, where you can do all kinds of payments. So why is there that big a difference then within regulatory perspectives between Europe, Asia, and America? So that's one of the things that within ABN AMRO we're trying to invest and trying to experiment, is how we can use voice as a new service channel. And I know, yeah, everybody says, okay, what's the business case again? But if you not start experimenting with all these things and you don't do nothing, you will end up having nothing, because everybody who's doing it has the experience within 2 years with all real data from users. So yeah, these little tiny boxes. They will change our lives within the next 2 years, I think. Google Home is coming to the Netherlands in September. So yeah, then if you have the ability within the company and you made the choice to be a consumer and customer facing bank, so you do the front end, and either you do that or you do the back end, because that's what we're facing with the nearby future blockchain technology and all kinds of automation processing from all kinds of departments within the bank. So, and if you made those choices and you really came up with a strategic choice towards the future, then you might be that lighthouse with a really, really calm and relaxed sea around you, and you can support your customers in the right way. Thanks.